Creation Podcast. And welcome everybody, it's Dan, hope you're well today. So, almost went live without updating all the gubbins that we should have updated and managed to stop it. Anyway, we are live. Welcome, hope you're well today. My head is far too close to the top of that thing. Let me move my head down. There we go. Okay, so welcome to the Property Cashflow show. It's been a while. We are very intermittent with these just because life is just crazy at the moment. But anyway, it's all good. Let's crack straight on though. So, interest rate cut. Let's talk about that. We think it's coming in November. Pretty sure of it, actually. And the reason why we're pretty sure of that is that inflation has dropped. And the Consumer Price Index has dropped from 2.2% in August. I'm just looking on The Guardian here. It's dropped from 2.2% down to 1.7%, which means it's basically below the Bank of England's target of 2%. So pretty much the interest rates will be cut in November. That's our belief. If it remains at that, we think there'll be another interest rate cut in December as well, which is really good, of course. That will help a lot of landlords stay in the game. Of course, a lot of landlords are selling up anyway right now because there is rumours of Labour in their budget putting capital gains tax up to 39%. It's 24% at the moment. Now, it depends on whether it includes property capital gains tax because that's calculated different at 24%. Than it is for everything else. So who knows is the honest answer. But I keep seeing these things, these headlines in the newspapers saying, oh, landlords are in a rush to sell. Like that was yesterday. You got 14 days to get a completion. That's not going to happen. Landlords, they might be in a rush to sell, but they're not completing before the budget date. So what happens is you're going to have a lot of these transactions go through. And then at the last minute, on the day of exchange and completion, they're going to look at how much tax we're going to have to pay. And then we're going to go, oh, and all these sales are going to fall through. It's very interesting what's going on right now. And obviously, that's going to lead to a change in rents. But we'll talk about rents a little bit later. So we think interest rate cut in November. Does that change what we're doing? No. We're selling a lot of our property up because we're done with property. And I just want to clarify here, I still believe property as an investment is a great property. It's just not where we are right now. It's there's just too much lack of control. There is too much going on with tenants just being quite crazy after COVID and maybe Brexit, but definitely after COVID, which is weird. And because we are 1,000 miles away, it's increasingly harder to manage these properties. And so we're selling up effectively and moving that money into different assets. So I still believe in property and I still believe in assets. It's just we're changing the type of assets and we're moving more towards digital assets that we can sell all around the world instead of just in the UK or just instead of having a property in the UK with all these extra bureaucracy and red tape that's coming through. The rent reform bill, for example, all that stuff, removal of Section 21, just bizarre, just totally bonkers. And we kind of feel like landlords, as usual, I've been in this game for 26 years, but landlords, as usual, are getting screwed by the government and they're getting blamed for everything. Rents go up because of Section 24 taxation. It has to be greedy landlords, even though landlords are losing money on their portfolios right now because of interest rates and Section 21 tax rises. Anyway, it's just bonkers. And I want to remain in control of what's going on. And before, I had more control, and now I have less control, and I have even less control because I'm 1,000 miles away. So we are still selling up. And there's been a whole rush of properties coming onto the market, which we are going to talk about shortly. But having said all of that, I still think property investment is a really good way for you to generate long-term wealth. As long as you are paying down your debt, as long as you're looking after your tenants, as long as you reference your tenants to make sure that you've got the best tenants that you absolutely can, and long-term tenants and tenants that aren't going to screw the place over. We are very, very strict on our tenant criteria as to who can come into our properties and who can't. Very strict. We insist on guarantors pretty much for everybody under 30, for example. So if you're a 26-year-old and you haven't got a guarantor, it's really not going to work for us. If you're a couple and this is your first place together, you're probably not going to get in one of our units, because we know most couples who move in together split up in the first 3 months anyway, because suddenly this idea of living together is wonderful, and then the reality is quite the opposite, and so it usually breaks down. If you're a single guy in January, turns up with his 2 bags, you're probably not going to get into one of our properties. And I mean a single guy who's just been separated from his wife, because they usually get back together. We have really strict criteria. If you're a copper or a solicitor, sorry guys, you ain't getting in ours. Have you ever upset a copper? Nah, it's not happening. And solicitors think they know it all, even though they are the most stupid people on the planet, totally incompetent. I don't think I've met a competent solicitor yet, and we've met a lot. Like, just transactions, just the inability to do their jobs. It's just bizarre, right? If you work for Leeds City Council, guess what? You ain't getting in. So, having said all that, finding really good quality tenants, that's what you want to be doing. And if you can do that and you manage your properties and you're close enough as well, it's really challenging for us being so far away. And you can explain to people time and time again, the cleaners and the handymen, you're my eyes. If you see something, please let me know. They never tell us anything. And then, there's a drip. It's been going on for months, and the tenants don't tell us, and the handymen don't tell us, and the cleaners don't tell us. And it's like, well, we're 1,000 miles away. That's your job. You're supposed to tell. They never do. So that's why we're kind of out. But I still think that property is a really good way of doing it. And we might just change over to commercial property anyway, or we might just do more title splits, quite frankly. But even title splitting for me has a problem. I love the idea of title splits. What I don't like is the process of selling properties, because again, we've talked about solicitors being fairly useless. And I'll give you an example, right? I bought a house 20 years ago. We're just selling it right now. And there's at the back bedroom, there's a dormer. You know a dormer? It's like a bit of an extension to make it like bigger. And they come to me and go, oh yeah, have you got the planning for the dormer that you built? I'm like, I didn't build any dormer. Yeah. There's a dormer on the back. I'm like, yeah, it was there when I bought it. No. We think you've built that. Right. Have you got any evidence for that? No. Okay. Well, I'm telling you now I didn't build it. Yeah, but we don't believe you. Right. So you think I'm committing fraud then? Like, these are the conversations that we're having with solicitors. Like, I didn't build it. You got no evidence I built it. I don't know why you're asking me if I built it or not. And even if I did, it comes under permitted development now anyway. Who gives a shit, right? Oh, well, you see, solicitors trying to be all clever. It's like, part of me is like, do you know what? Fuck it. Let's just cancel the sale and let's sell it to someone else instead. Because I can't be bothered dicking around with stupid people. This is what kind of a problem that we have with selling. So even selling properties got much harder. 7 months to complete a property sale. That's not from the moment of putting it on the market. This is from the moment of actually agreeing a sale. On average, it's taken 7 months. We have changed solicitor, and this solicitor we do have does seem faster. But even then, God, it's just all this toing and froing. And then somebody's lying, right? Somebody is lying. I get a response from the estate agent saying, the buyer solicitors have said your solicitors haven't responded. So I copy that, I send it to my solicitor. What's going on? You've not responded. And they send me a message saying, we sent them the responses 7 days ago and they haven't replied. It's like, well, who's lying? Which one of you solicitors, one of you is lying, right? One of you is trying to cover your ass. Which one is it? And of course you never get to find out. So we just think all solicitors are not very good at the job, which is probably true. But property as a long-term investment, and I mean long-term, I mean, 10, 15, 20 years, I think that's got really good legs still. But a lot of people do it wrong. Okay, so talking about how to do it right, you should be buying property below market value. I think we've only bought one property at full asking price, and that was a mistake. We sold it at a loss. We completed last year, I think. We made a £30,000 loss, and we've owned it for 15 years. Like, we overpaid for it. And it was an emotional purchase. But you should be buying property below market value. Then you should be adding value, which might be splitting it, title splitting it, or it might be converting it up into a HMO, or it might just be adding an extension or ripping everything out and putting in new stuff to make it look really nice, to increase the value and so on. So, there are rules around what you should be doing when you're buying property, and obviously property sourcing, which is what we're going to talk about alongside the coaching, being a property sourcer and knowing how to drop leaflets and knowing how to negotiate deals and knowing how to find below market value. And sometimes it doesn't have to be below market value. Sometimes it just has to be a really good deal that nobody else has seen. And you can find those properties on Rightmove because people haven't got the same vision that you have. The number of properties that we've bought, and people are like, I bought one, it was on at 170 or 175, we paid 142 for it. We put an offer in at 140 and the estate agent literally said, I think you're taking the piss. And I said, well, put the offer in, and we completed at 142,500, and they couldn't sell it and they couldn't rent it. And we bought it 30 grand below market value, and then we rented it sight unseen. On the day of completion, we moved the cleaners in, we put the furniture in the day after, and the tenants moved in the day after that. And I messaged the sellers, and they're like, yeah, no, we've rented it now. I'm like, how have you rented it? We've tried for 6 months, couldn't rent it. It's like, because, well, you used an estate agent in Leeds City Centre who's not very good, first of all. Like, this stuff happens. Have some faith in yourself and put some trust in your own ability to get the job done, right? I would bet on myself most times than I would bet on somebody else. Depends on who it is and what it is. But if somebody said, Dan, I need you to go do this thing and it has to happen, I'm betting on myself. Because I don't trust anybody else to get the job done. And nobody understands what I want more than me. Nobody understands what you want more than you, right? You have this vision. And I know you try and explain the vision to somebody else. And it's impossible for them to get because they can't see inside your head. So you've got to step up to the plate. Now, sometimes you need support and you need some accountability, and sometimes you need a bit more knowledge, and sometimes you need a network of people who are all doing something similar, and you could all get together and have a chat and swap tips and hints and strategies and so on. And then you can go out whitewater rafting together or come over to Spain and have some cocktails on the beach and get to know each other. And you can go on this journey together. Very like-minded people, all striving to be a better man, but I also mean a better person because we have females as well. So being a better person, being fit, working on your property portfolio, working on your business portfolio, generating cash flow from digital marketing products, training courses that you're creating and selling. In fact, we are live with our Live Like Legends today, and it's Build Your Digital Empire, and it's at 12 noon. And that's what we're talking about, how to create your products and sell them online. During lockdown, we sold heck of a lot of product. Everyone's at home, bored, completed Netflix, completed Prime, completed Apple TV. They're looking for something to do. How many people learned the guitar or lost some weight or put weight on? You're going to be a chunk, a hunk. What is it? You're going to be a chunk, a hunk, or a drunk during lockdown. Which one were you? Well, we created trading products and we sold a lot. And so we have a Live Like Legends community, and part of that community is property coaching, and part of it is digital marketing, and part of it is about health and mental well-being and about living a life of adventure and living like a legend, right? But we see all these other people selling coaching courses. It's like 10 grand here and it's 15 grand there. I was at an event a couple of months ago now. I sat opposite a lady and she'd spent 20 grand on coaching, and now Live Like Legends like 300 a month, and you should see what you get. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what you get. Let me just open this up here. So second screen, here we go. So on the Live Like Legends community, you get daily coaching sessions. Like literally every single day, we are live in a coaching session for our clients. And you don't have to turn up to them. You turn up for the ones that you want, and the ones that you don't want, you don't turn up to. Live events throughout the year. That's in UK and Spain, which is really cool, including a 2-day retreat here in Spain. Planning, accountability, goals, weight loss, life balance, business training, marketing, sales, paid ads, content creation. All of our trainings included free of charge, Monday through Friday, 12 noon. There's the list of everything that we do. So digital marketing funnel review. So if you've got a business and you want us to look at your funnel, we'll look at that and we'll criticize you basically, and we'll give you positive feedback and negative feedback and constructive feedback so you can improve on it. Body Like a Champion, so it's about health, food, exercise. I did my CrossFit session at 8 a.m. this morning, Spanish time, 7 o'clock UK time. It was one of those workout sessions where you are contemplating your life choices, let's put it that way. A very, very challenging workout. But boy, do I feel so much better mentally because of that. Wednesday's property, wealth building, overall investment strategies. Thursday's build your digital marketing, digital empire. That's today. Fridays is about planning and accountability and goal setting, weekly planning, end of week review. And then let's scroll down because you get all these other trainings that we have. And then the other thing that we do as well, like on the 11th, 12th and 13th of June is our Spanish retreat. You have to pay for your hotels and your flights. Hotels are cheap anyway, and flights are really cheap. And it's June, so it's before the school holiday, so everything's really cheap, which is really cool. And it's awesome. Like, we go for cocktails on the first night on the beachfront. It's amazing. It's truly, truly outstanding. And there's a video you can go and watch, which will show you what it's like. It's amazing, right? And so it's 297 quid a month, or it's $2,500 if you pay for 12 months up front. And that's literally what we do. It's Live Like Legends property coaching. So if you're looking for something with a community, because this is the key, right? It's not the knowledge. Like, I was thinking about this just yesterday and about the value of knowledge, which used to be up here because access to knowledge used to be limited. You'd buy it in books, or you'd buy tapes. Do you remember tapes? And you'd buy them, mail order, and you put them in your cassette in your car. You'd drive around for your next sales call. Oh, my days at Dell, 20 odd years ago. But that's what we used to do, and now we've got access to information everywhere. And it's not information that is the difference between success and failure anymore. Part of it is. Mostly it's mindset. It's doing the things that you don't want to do, or even doing the things you do want to do, but you can't be bothered doing them, or you have these mental blocks. I had a mental block before coming live. I'm like, oh, really? Who's going to get value out of this? I have mental blocks, but you go do it anyway. That's part of what we do here. But building a community and a network where you get to meet fellow investors and people who want to strive to be the best, because we only have one life, and you're here for one life, and that's it. You're a long time dead. You're alive for a very short time, and then you're a long time dead. Probably. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows what happens when we die. So I'm 52. I've got 30 years left. I want to live like a legend. I've got coffee and cheesecake at the beach bar in an hour and a half. This is what we want to do, right? You want to live like a legend. We've just got back from America in July. We're booking Centre Parks in France for next year. I'm going around Scotland on a car camping trip with my mate Dave, because we like to have one adventure. We've done yoga in Portugal. Neither of us do yoga. We've done finding a pyramid in Bosnia. Wasn't really a pyramid, it was just a big hill, but it was lots of fun, lots of very far out people there. We did Bali and Billionaire Bootcamp last year with Chris Howard. A truly amazing experience. We want to live like legends. We're dead in 30 years. I want to list down all the things I want to do, and then I want to earn enough money so I can actually go and do them. And not only do I want to earn enough money, I want to have the body that allows me to go mountain climbing or zip roping, or when you get out of a swimming pool, people look at you, and not because you're fat. That's what I want. And I imagine that's what everybody wants. We all want our kids to love us, and our dog, and our partners. And we want to be a shining beacon of an example for other people to go, I kept going because I saw you kept going. That's who we want. And that's what the Live Like Legends community is about. Anyway, let's talk about opportunities as property sources right now, because there are a ton of opportunities. There's so many landlord properties coming onto the market right now. It's ridiculous. And so you should be having your pick of the crop. In fact, I was talking to my mate Dave, who we did all that stuff, Bosnia and Portugal and so on. When we're going around Scotland car camping, for God's sake, which is really cool, which is really awesome, by the way. If you've never been car camping, do it. Like stealth camping, it just feels like you're doing something naughty, and it's so cool. Just sleeping in the back of your car, and it's all blacked out and no one can see inside, and then you wake up at 6 a.m. and then we were in something by the sea, not Wivensea, it's towards Whitby, and the dramatic sun-filled vista, which we got pictures of at 6 a.m. in the morning as the sun's coming across the North Sea. I mean, truly amazing. Didn't cost us a penny. Amazing, right? And I've done it where I was car camping for 2 nights, and then the next night I was in a 4-star hotel in Paris. Like, if that's not living like a legend, I don't know what is. It was pretty awesome stuff. Anyway, lots of opportunities. But I was talking to my mate Dave, and he was saying that a lot of his properties that he was managing, the landlords have sold up. Because Section 24 has totally screwed them. Renters Reform Bill is about to screw them. Capital gains tax is about to screw them. So you've got all these properties now going back on the market. Interest rates totally screwed people. And then also, because your profit is even less, but you're still paying the same amount of tax because you can't offset it anyway. So you're in negative, like you're literally in negative cash flow. It's an impossible situation for landlords. So you've got all these landlords putting properties back on the market now, which means that you can go out. It's a bit like a jumble sale, but if you've got time and the energy and motivation to do it, you can go out and negotiate some very good deals. You can even negotiate deals through estate agents, which we don't really normally recommend through the property sourcing course, link down below, 27 quid. And you'll know how I feel about estate agents. We don't really like doing deals through estate agents. But right now, because there's so many properties coming on the market, like, it's a numbers game. If you have 100 landlords coming through the system and putting properties on the market, one of those landlords is desperate. Has to be. And I guarantee it's more than one. There might be negative equity, which means you need a creative solution, which could be a lease option for the next 3 years until prices come back up. But then the estate agent needs paying in some way. So you've got to speak to the estate agent about how you're going to structure that and how they are going to get paid. Because they're not going to put any offers in for a 3-year completion unless they're getting paid on exchange, through an exchange delayed completion, or on the signing of the lease option, they get their commission. Because really that's all they're interested in as the estate agents, right? So you need to learn how to do that. So lots and lots of opportunities if you can go and find them. And that's what the property sourcing is about. And then because all these properties are going on the marketplace right now through landlords, rents are going up. Like the number of tenants I've spoken to, like, why are you looking to rent? My landlord is selling up. Like nearly every tenant. They're all being evicted. Like, rents are going up, folks. There's absolutely no question. And when capital gains tax goes up, like, I think that's probably going to slow the sales because landlords are in an impossible position. Because now their tax bill is so high that the property doesn't make profit because of interest rates. And even though it doesn't make profit, they still have a massive tax bill, even though it doesn't make profit. What's going to happen to that landlord? They're going to have to put rents up. They've got no choice. We're going to see other people putting rents up because the properties that are going on the market are being sold, or they're just staying on the market and they're staying empty, and which means there's less properties for tenants. So property prices, rental-wise, are going to go up. There's no question about that. Which then, that kind of ties into there being lots of opportunities as well. Knowing that rents are going to be going up over the next few years, and they've already gone up over the last few years. People, oh, rents can't go up forever. Of course they can. They have done. That's what happens. That's an inflationary model that we exist in. And what people say, they go, yeah, but if you've got someone on minimum wage, they can only go so high, which is correct. But guess what happens to those slightly above minimum wage? They take the lowest properties. So where do the people on minimum wage go? They go live in tent city. They're homeless. They get put up by the council. Where's the council getting properties from? They don't have any properties. They have to go to landlords, and landlords are going, you can piss off not renting to councils. Wankers, a lot of them. You created this problem. You're absolute arses to landlords. I'm talking to you council tax people right now. Absolute arses. You treat us like utter shit. And yet, the council comes knocking on our door, desperately seeking help. You can piss off. We're not going to do it. That's why I like control, by the way. I don't like being, oh, well, you have to rent to people with pets. Have you ever rented someone with a dog? Oh, he's only a little dog. All right, how old is he? 6 weeks. Have you ever wondered why he's a little dog? It's because he's a puppy. What dog is it? A Japanese Akita. Like, big dog. But he's only little. It's because he's 6 weeks old, you dumbass. And have you ever rented to a new puppy? Choose everything. Shits on your carpet. The smell. Oh, but now you can only charge 5 weeks of deposit. Yeah, that makes it really worthwhile. The damage is $4,000 for new carpets and new doors and, literally dog shit on a wall and so on, right? Oh, yeah, that really covers it. No, there's a lack of control going on. It's one of the reasons why we don't want to be landlords anymore, because the control that we had before there is less control. We're being told what we can and can't do. It's like, you know what? I don't want to play that game, so we're stepping out. But we are 1,000 miles away as well, which makes it harder for us to manage that and do the inspections and so on. But also it takes 9 months to evict a non-paying tenant who's trashing your house as well. So that can be very, very challenging too. But lots of opportunity, and rents are definitely going up. And I think we've got an interest rate cut in November and maybe December, just to kind of summarise there. Anyway, look, I hope you found that useful. We'll catch up with you on the next one. I'm going to go to the beach bar and have a really nice coffee. Hope you have a wicked day. Have a good one. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.